On this edition of the Center of It All, we'll take a tour of a micro distillery in Bellefonte, hit the greens at the Penn State White Course for the 17th annual Center County United Way Golf Tournament, and Mel is creating classic Texas chili dogs. These stories and more up next on the Center of It All. Welcome to the Center of It All. First up today, our Sarah Lagerman stops by the old match factory in Bellefonte, which is now the new home of Big Spring Spirits.
I'm here at Big Spring Spirits in Bellefonte, where for the past 2 months, Kevin Lloyd and his team have been turning spring water into spirits. Come along while I take a tour of this new business. I sat down with co-owner Kevin Lloyd, whose passion for chemistry led him to the microdistillery business.
This is our main production facility, our only production facility. So currently we make vodka, white corn whiskey, and rum. We have a number of other products coming, including several different types of whiskeys. And we also have a tasting room, which is where we're sitting right now. So as a microdistillery, we can sell whatever we make. So here we sell by the glass. We also distribute our products currently to about 40 restaurants and bars in Bellefonte and State College area.
Big Spring is a boutique distillery offering drinks, food, and entertainment in a comfortable yet elegant tasting room.
Every Friday night we have happy hour, so we have a live band, usually 6 to 8 o'clock. We do sell food, small plates, so locally grown products, meats, cheeses, and breads.
Appropriately named Big Spring, all the water used in the distilling process comes from a natural spring about 100 yards from the front door.
We use the water in 2 different ways. The first way is in the brewing process. And then finally, all of our products, our maximum alcohol content is 40%. So over at least 60% of the content of all of our products are water, and it all comes from the Big Spring. The Big Spring was voted this year as best tasting water in Pennsylvania by the PA Rural Water Association. So we're very fortunate to have the Big Spring just a stone's throw across the park from where we are right now.
The fresh water is what makes these spirits so special. But what is really special is the signature cocktails, and the most popular has a twist of something local.
Well, we call it the Coley or the Milesburg Mule. That's a fairly popular drink around the United States right now. It's vodka, ginger beer, and lime. We also put a twist on it for us. We partner with Tate Farm and use some of their ginger shrub in it as well, which we think makes our cocktail unique. Any opportunity that we can to use local products we do, and that's just one example of it.
As you sit at the bar sipping your cocktail, you can watch the spirits being made through a window into the actual distillery. I went back to check out the production process.
We're on about a 1-week production cycle. We have 3 fermenters, 600-gallon fermenters. So in 1 week's time, we go through about 4,500 pounds of grain. Depends on what grain we use. We primarily use corn, wheat, and rye. In that week's time, we'll go through 4,500 pounds of grain, and that'll produce about 1,200 bottles of spirits. Right now, a lot of the things we're doing, we're putting in barrels, and those will age for up to 2 years before we'll have aged product.
Big Spring is more than happy to show off their facility and committed to using local grains and flavors in their products.
We give tours all the time. We get to see the entire process. We get all of our grains locally. I have a farmer in Milesburg who collects and mills the grain for us. We get our grain in here locally. We use Big Spring water for what we call the cooking process. We do fermentation. You can see the still itself, and then bottling and barreling as well. So we get the full experience.
The tasting room is now opened Thursdays through Sundays, serving up whiskey, rum, and vodka. For more information, log on to BigSpringSpirits.com.
The Boalsburg Farmers Market is rich in fall fare, and each year they celebrate their harvest with a plow-to-plate dinner.
The change of season brings a bountiful harvest, and the Boalsburg Farmers Market celebrates that harvest with an annual plow-to-plate dinner. Market manager Tony Sapia is dedicated to supplying the community with fresh produce.
It's our 3rd annual Boalsburg Farmers Market Plow-to-Plate Harvest Dinner. Celebrates the wonderful bounty and the peak of the 2014 growing season. We're going to have lots of growers and producers here, it's a way for us to mix and mingle with the guests, some of our folks that do come to the market. Way to say thank you and enjoy the wonderful produce.
The Boalsburg Farmers Market is held from 2 to 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, and one unique thing is that it is a producers-only farmers market.
This is our 17th year, and we have 26 producers, and it's a producer-only farmers market, meaning that you have to make what you sell, whether it's growing turnips and radishes or making bread or pasta, but you have to make it. So it's truly the definition of eating local.
The market supplies the area with seasonal fruit, vegetables, flowers, and baked goods all year round. And they believe it's very important to buy locally.
Well, all the dollars stay within the nucleus of the community when you purchase locally or eat locally. But more importantly, it's not a matter of a mile radius. It's not even GMO, gluten-free. What it boils down to is taste. And let me tell you, when you eat a freshly picked peach from Way Fruit Farm, or an apple from McNeil Orchards, or corn, it's all about the taste.
You can pick up produce at the Boalsburg Farmers Market now through mid-November in the parking lot of the PA Military Museum and at the St. John's United Church of Christ in Boalsburg from November through April. Visit BoalsburgFarmersMarket.com for more information.
The Boalsburg Farmers Market is a great place to buy local. Coming up next, we're going to take to the links for the annual United Way Golf Outing. Welcome back to the center of it all. The United Way held their annual golf outing recently, and Sarah Lagerman was there to take in the action.
Teeing off for charity here at the 17th Annual Center County United Way Golf Tournament.
The participants of the tournament spent the day on the Penn State White Course, driving and putting for a good cause.
For almost 2 decades, Penn State Information and Technology Services has been sponsoring the United Way Golf Tournament as a way to raise money for the organization. Committee Chair Debbie Peppel has been working on this event since it began.
17 years ago, the Vice Provost of Information and Technology Services wanted us to come up with a way to supplement the take-from-pays that the employees were making to support the United Way and come up with a way to, make some additional money. So that's how the United Way Golf Tournament started.
Penn State ITS is one of the biggest supporters of the Center County United Way.
United Way could not do any of the work we do without our funding partners, and Penn State is definitely one of them, and ITS is one of the biggest supporters we have, second only to the famous Trash to Treasure. We could not do anything we do without their support and their work and their volunteerism and their advocacy. They make our lives very, very easy.
Over the years, the tournament has raised over $310,000. This year, the hope is to reach $40,000.
All of the proceeds from the tournament come to us, and we put it into our allocable pool, and then we share it among the 34 partner agencies. So their hard work results in people getting helps, people who need food, people who need shelter, people who need utilities. That all happens because of this golf tournament and the help that the committee and the participants give us.
Sponsorships and on-course games are just 2 ways they accomplish their fundraising goals.
There are 3 levels of sponsorships. We have platinum, silver, and gold. The platinum is a $5,000 sponsorship, followed by $3,000 and then $2,000. The sponsorship allows a company to bring a designated amount of golfers. They're provided dinner and the recognition then at the banquet that they were a supporter of the United Way Golf Tournament. We try to have 4 on-course games. That way each member of the foursome can pay for that particular hole. The idea of this fundraiser is to make money for the United Way, so if our golfers go away with any money in their pocket, we're a little upset. So we try to put games out there that they can play, and that helps, let us raise more money for the cause. So.
The Penn State faculty and staff are encouraged to support their local community.
Penn State encourages the employees to support the local communities. I mean, it's part of the town and gown. It's part of a way that we can assure that our community, is taken care of. And Each administrative unit and college here at Penn State has a representative to the Penn State Executive United Way Board, and we all are doing fundraising and, promote take from pay deductions from our employees within our units. Last year, the Penn State community raised over $900,000 for the United Way's annual campaigns.
Although it was a cold afternoon, over 100 golfers took to the greens to support their local chapter of the United Way. If you would like to help out, log on to centercountyunitedway.org.
Penn State works with the United Way on a number of great events. When we come back, Mel puts her own twist on the classic chili dog. Looking for something to warm you up on a cool autumn afternoon? That's perfect, because Mel is heating things up with her Texas chili dogs.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. I grew up in eastern Pennsylvania, and whenever I hear that song, I remember hot, sunny summer afternoons sitting in Veterans Stadium rooting for the Philadelphia Phillies. One of my favorite things about going to a baseball game is eating a hot dog. And if you live in Pennsylvania, you know that means a chili dog. Today, I'm going to show you how to make my real deal Texas-style chili hot dogs. Let's get started. Texas-style chili dogs are slathered in yellow ballpark mustard and topped with a chunky all-meat chili sauce. People think they were invented in Texas, but they weren't. They were invented in 1924 in Paterson, New Jersey by a Greek immigrant who used spices and flavorings from his own heritage. Because he used hand-ground steak to make his chili sauce instead of store-bought ground beef, it got its Texas nickname. Because Texas-style chili dogs freeze so well, I always make a big batch. And I like to use London broil. This is what's going to give it its signature chewy to-the-tooth texture. I've cubed 3 pounds of London broil and put it in my food processor. And I'm going to use about 30 pulses to grind this to a nice, fine mix. If you don't have a big food processor like this, you can do this in separate batches. And before I did my meat, I also did 3 pounds of yellow onion and 3/4 of a pound of celery the exact same way. I've placed all of my minced ground steak in a big wide-bottom 7-quart skillet, and I've added all of that minced onion, and now I'm adding all of that wonderful celery. I'm going to stir this really thoroughly to get all the ingredients mixed together, and then I'm going to turn the heat on and I'm going to let it simmer, just a gentle simmer but a steady simmer, for an hour to an hour and a half until almost all of the liquid has evaporated from the bottom of the pan. And don't worry so much about the time it takes. It's more important that the liquid evaporate from the bottom of the pan. This has been simmering for about an hour and 15 minutes, and you could see how there's almost no liquid in the bottom of the pan. That's exactly what you want. You don't want to let this mixture brown. And now making Texas-style chili sauce couldn't be easier. We're going to add 1.5 cups of regular ketchup, 1.5 cups of chili sauce, 6 tablespoons of ballpark mustard, 6 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, and 6 tablespoons of cayenne pepper sauce, 3 tablespoons of chili powder, and the Greek secret, a teaspoon and a half of ground cloves. I'm going to stir this one all again together, and we're going to let this simmer on the stovetop for about 45 minutes to another hour until it's all thickened. And after that, ideally, you remove it from the heat, cover the pan, and let it sit for an hour or two to let all of the spices marry together. Back in 2007, America's Test Kitchen in Boston, the publishers of Cook's Illustrated and Cook's Country magazines, chose my Texas-style chili recipe to appear in their America's Best Lost cookbook. This was an honor because all of the recipes that appear in this book don't appear in any other cookbooks. So, the next time you're enjoying America's favorite pastime, pass the time eating one of my real deal chili dogs. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
For all of Mel's recipes, log on to kitchenencounters.typepad.com. There's a great new place for kids to go after school, and we've got all the details coming up next on the center of it all.
As the leaves start to fall and the calendar turns to autumn, that means only one thing. Football is back. This is unbelievable! It's a foot race! Join me, Joe Putnam, as we bring you live high school football on the Game of the Week, featuring the best teams around central Pennsylvania.
Week 6 brings St. Joseph's Academy to Riverside Stadium to take on the Golden Tide of Curwensville.
Catch WHVL's live Game of the Week, 7 p.m. Friday, followed by Blue White Tailgate. Football Fridays only on WHVL.
The Bellefonte Youth Center has reopened in a new location, and Sarah has got all the details.
The Center County Youth Services Bureau recently reopened their youth center in downtown Bellefonte. The youth center was originally in the Temple Court building on South Allegheny, but it is currently under a 2-year renovation. So YSB Director Andrea Boyles and her team set out in June to find the youth center a permanent home.
The Bellefonte Youth Center is a part of our prevention programming, so drop-in centers are one of 14 programs that we offer throughout Center County.
Their new location at 114 North Spring Street is one of 2 drop centers within Center County and accommodates about 20 to 25 kids per day.
Here in Bellefonte and also the Mountaintop Youth Center in Snowshoe. And in addition to that, we work in 5 neighborhoods where we don't have a youth center, but we go into the neighborhood and offer prevention programming, recreational activities for kids, that sort of thing.
YSB has been part of the Bellefonte community for the past 20 years, serving children ages 4 to 18 years old.
Every child who comes in contact with us knows that they matter, knows that we care about them, knows that they're going to have somebody who looks them in the eye and genuinely cares about their day. And you know, all of the other things we do are important, but ultimately kids need to know that they are important, they're listened to, they matter in the world, and we do that every day.
The center is open after school until 8 p.m. Monday through Friday.
I got to tell you, that looks like a great and safe place for kids to hang out. This time of year, it seems like everyone's getting sick, and the folks at the Cleveland Clinic are here to talk about family flu shots.
With school in full swing, cold and flu season won't be far behind. The best defense against the flu for you and your child is the influenza vaccine. So this year, some are recommending the family flu shot. Dr. Kim Giuliano is a pediatrician at Cleveland Clinic Children's. She says the idea is to get the entire family vaccinated all at once.
It would be great for the entire family to get vaccinated. There's plenty of family practice and pediatric offices that are willing to vaccinate both adults and children.
Dr. Giuliano says to call ahead to your provider to find out if they're willing to vaccinate your entire family at the same time. She says the flu vaccine is very effective, but it's not 100% foolproof. So, by vaccinating your children and everyone around them, their chances of getting sick will decrease even more. Dr. Giuliano also tells us that you should not wait to get vaccinated. She says the time to start thinking about it is now.
Early fall is definitely the time to be thinking about it. You want to get your child and your whole family protected before the virus starts circulating.
The flu vaccine is already available at some providers, so give your pediatrician or your family practice office a call to set up an appointment. With some sniffles of his own already, I'm Andrew Callista for the Center of It All.
That's all for this edition of the Center of It All. For more WHVL content, visit our YouTube page and like us on Facebook. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.